Check this.
Hello, this is Socially Triggered, and I'm going to tell you a story. And I hope you like this story, and it hopefully will make you understand the way people think and what's kind of happening in our world today. So when I was living in Korea, it was kind of interesting. The first question that people would ask you was, how old are you? And the reason they ask that question is they want to know what your status is so that they can determine what language or like what style of language they use with you. Is it formal language or is it informal language? And so age is what they determine how they speak to you. So if you're older, they'll use much more formal language. So it's one of the first questions that they'll ask you. They'll ask your name and then, how old are you? So even, it's the funniest thing, when I was teaching there, siblings that are twins would actually use different language sometimes based on the age of who was the first twin born. So the age was so important to determine the mode which they spoke. What was it, formal or informal language? Well, nowadays I'm seeing a similar kind of thing in our world, in the North American world, where people are asking, what is your stance? What is your political ideology? Are you left or are you right? And if you're left or right, that determines how they interpret everything you say. It's like day and night how they interpret what you say. So if you say that you're left speaking, well, you're on the left side of the political spectrum, they will interpret everything you say in that lens. If you say that you're on the right, well, then they'll interpret that in that lens as well. So the problem that I see is what happens is people will misinterpret based on whatever lens they're using. And you can hear the same presentation given to two different people, and if the qualifier was one way or the other way, people will interpret it completely different. A very funny video that I saw was they showed political quotes from Barack Obama, but they told people they were political quotes from Trump. And when they were showing these to people, they were saying, oh, these are horrible things to say. This just shows how much of an idiot he is, and all this kind of stuff. It was really funny. But it was all stuff that Obama had said. So their bias and the way that they interpret things is geared by this primary first question that they ask: are you left or are you right? Or they might say it in different ways. They might say, oh, do you like Trump or you do not like Trump? But the point is, what's happening is people are becoming blind to what people are actually saying, or being deaf, I should say. They're being deaf to what people are saying. And I really see this as a problem nowadays, that people are not listening to each other. They talk past each other. They just instantly interpret what that person is saying as evil or as idiotic. It's so funny, when I talk to my wife, if I say that I think Trump was not a bad guy, even if I say not a bad guy, I mean it doesn't mean that I want to marry the guy. I just think he's not a bad guy. He's trying to do the best for his country. If I say it even like that, which is pretty mild, approval of the man, well, I'm instantly seen as a Nazi, even by my wife, because of the way the media has framed him. They have framed him as being this racist, evil, misogynist man, and whether that's a fair assessment of the man is very questionable. But the point is, they frame it that way, and so anyone that says that they support him, well, they must be, by default, an evil Nazi. So it's very extreme. And it's hard to speak to people when they instantly change their attitude towards you based on what your political affiliation is. I've seen it recently when I said to a group of people, I said, hey, Trump's did a good job on XYZ, on something. Immediately, their whole attitude shifted. I could see that they were nervous, they were uncomfortable, they sort of shut down. And I think it's very strange that something, even if it was like when something good it comes out of a person, like Trump did a good thing with North Korea, for example. Well, immediately that's misinterpreted as a bad thing somehow. Everything is like that, where people are misinterpreting on. I'm not sure if they're just not wanting to understand or not willing to understand, but they are shutting down, and it really causes problems when you're trying to talk to people. And everything nowadays is becoming political. So it used to be that you could watch a movie or watch television or just speak with a group of people and not talk about politics at all. And you could just talk about the day and what's happening in the world. But everything has a political lens to it now. It's really odd and strange to be in a situation where once you are placed in that box of left or right, that people's interpretation of what you say completely changes, and they won't even talk to you. You lose friends over it. You lose the closeness that it used to exist. And I think this is really the fault of the mainstream media, because they've really taught people to look at things from this political lens. And I think if we just sort of say, hey, let's just think about this rationally, then we can have a dialogue and really get things sorted out and get back to normal. I actually just want people to be back to normal. What do you think? What do you think of the current situation? Do you find that people are not listening to each other? Do you want to hear other opinions? Are you open to it? And if you are, please give me your opinions in the comments below. I want to hear what both sides have to say. I like to be open-minded, and I encourage other people to be open-minded too. So please join the discussion in the comments. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.
Check this.